Have you ever wondered how scientists prove evolution? What if I told you we have millions of years worth of clues hidden in the earth? Evolution is the process of species changing over time, and we have solid proof from fossils, body structures, and even DNA. Today we'll explore the evidence that links all life forms together in one grand evolutionary story. Evolution is a gradual change of species over time due to genetic variation and natural selection. It's why we see such incredible diversity in life today. Even plant, animal, and microorganisms evolved from a common ancestor. But how do we know this? Scientists gather evidence from fossils, anatomy, and even molecular biology to trace how species changed over millions of years. Evolution helps us understand how life adapts, survives, and sometimes even goes extinct. Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection provided a framework, but modern science is built upon his ideas. Evolution explains why bacteria develop resistance to antibiotics, why whales still have tiny leg bones, and why we share 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees. Fossils are preserved remains or traces of ancient life. They can be bones, shells, footprints, or even organisms trapped in amber. Fossils act like nature's time capsule, allowing scientists to piece together the history of life on Earth. Without them, we wouldn't have solid proof of species that lived millions of years ago. Fossils show us how species have evolved. Take Tiktaalik, a fish with features of both aquatic and land animals. It had fins like a fish but also wrist bones like an amphibian. This fossil is missing link that helps prove how life moved from water to land, supporting the idea that species evolved gradually over time. Like tree rings, oyster shells record environmental conditions. Thick rings show good conditions, while thin rings means the oyster struggled. Scientists use these fossils to understand past climates, providing that environmental changes influence evolution. If the climate was harsh, the species either adapted or went extinct. Amber or fossilized tree resin can perfectly preserve ancient organisms. Insects, plants, and even lizards have been found inside, showing us exactly how they looked millions of years ago. Some ants were even fossilized mid-bite, giving scientists a unique glimpse into their behavior and diet. Did dinosaurs live in herds? Fossils evidence says yes. Thousands of hadrosaur fossils were found together in a single site, suggesting they traveled in groups, just like modern herbivores. This shows that social behaviors has deep evolutionary roots, helping species survive against predators. Believe it or not, whales used to have legs. Fossils of early whales, like Ambulocetus, show they had hind limbs and could walk on land. Over millions of years, their bodies adapted to life in the oceans. Their legs shrank and their front limbs become flippers. This is direct evidence of evolution in action. Even though a bat's wing, a whale's flipper, and human hand looks different, their bones are structured the same. This is because they have evolved from a common ancestors. These are called homologous structures. Body parts that share the same blueprint have different functions in different species.
Embryos of different animals look surprisingly similar in their early stages. Fish, birds, and even humans have gill slits and tails as embryos. In fish, these become scales, while in humans, they disappear before birth. This suggests that all vertebrates share a common ancestor. Sometimes different species evolve similar traits independently. Arctic foxes and ptarmigans both turn white in winter for camouflage, but they aren't related. This is called convergent evolution. Convergent evolution is when an organisms adapt to similar environments in similar ways. Vestigial structures are leftovers from evolution. Snakes have tiny leg bones, proving they evolved from lizards. Humans have a tailbone, which is evidence that our ancestors once had tails for climbing trees. These useless parts remind us of our evolutionary past. DNA is the strongest proof of evolution. All living things share the same genetic code. Humans and chimpanzees share 98% of their DNA, proving we have a common ancestor. The more DNA species share, the more closely related they are. Biogeography, the study of species distribution, supports evolution. Fossils of the same species have been found on different continents, proving that land masses were once connected. This explains why we find similar species on opposite sides of the world. Scientists use radiometric dating to determine fossil ages. By measuring the decay of radioactive isotopes, they can estimate how old a fossil is, whether it's thousands or millions of years old, helping us create an accurate timeline of life on Earth. Archaeopteryx is a famous missing link fossil. It had feathers like a bird but teeth and claws like a reptile. This fossil helps prove that birds evolved from dinosaurs, showing how species gradually change over time. Horses used to be tiny, multi-toed creatures. As grassland spread, they evolved into large, fast runners with single hoofs. Their fossils clearly show how natural selection shaped them into the horses we know today. Evolution doesn't stop. It's happening all around us. Bacteria evolve rapidly, creating antibiotic resistance while new species continue to form. Evolution is an ongoing process, and as environmental conditions change, life adapts. The story of life on Earth is far from over, and our understanding of evolution continues to grow. From fossils to DNA, the evidence is undeniable. Evolution is real. It explains how species change, adapt, and survive. Every living thing is connected through millions of years of evolution. The story of life is still unfolding, and science continues to reveal more.